All right, YouTube. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're watching this from. This is Cobbs with the Parlay Parlor. It is Tuesday, February 24th, and we're back with another NBA slate. Let's have a brief recap of last night. After the 0 for 4 night that we had on Saturday, I'm okay with this bounce back. I would have liked if Ty Jerome didn't pull up with an illness before tip off, but at least he was honest. He wasn't ready to play. I'd rather that happen than he comes out for the first quarter, plays some minutes, and then we don't get the void. In any case, other than that, I mean, Precious Achua double double, huh? I mean, I said I was kind of looking away from the points and rebounds. I kind of feel stupid now just taking the minus 160 for the 6 rebounds. I ended up closing at 7.5. That's when I realized that maybe we were onto something. I think he had like 15 points and 11 rebounds. And Jabari Smith, I mean, he had a career first half. He had 21 points in the first half, ended up with 31. So that was really good to watch. Pistons, on the other hand, I mean, Wemby is the truth. Going forward, the Pistons, I mean, they're still a dog. They're still a team full of dogs. They're gonna make a deep run this postseason. But I guess you can clearly see when it comes to a particular superstar, depending on the team on that night. I mean, they were ahead for some parts of it, but I said if this wasn't a good Wemby game, you would need the supporting cast to show off, and very much well did they did. I think Stephon Castle had a double double in points and assists. Devin Vassell, like he had 14 points in the first half. I think he ended up with 22. I mean, everything that I said that could go wrong with this bet essentially went wrong. And then you had Wemby shooting up his 2 threes in the second half, which he couldn't do for us on Saturday, which was funny to see. But in any case, I mean, I'll take a 2-1 in one night any day of the week. Better than 0 for 4. With that being said, let's get into today's props. We're gonna try something a little different. I do try to give you singular props, and sometimes they may be juiced. I'm going to give you 4 props technically today, but one of them will be condensed of 2, as you can see here. That's going to be Donovan Mitchell for 2 threes and his assist. But there's 2 singular props at fair value will be Tyler Hero for his points and rebounds. We're taking the over 21.5. That's minus 114 right now on FanDuel. And Emmanuel Quickly, we're going to take the under on his points, rebounds, and assists at 26.5. And that is at minus 122 on FanDuel. If you live in a state with BetMGM, you can get this for minus 120, minus 118s on some prediction apps. And then the two leg prop will be Donovan Mitchell. We're taking him for 3 made threes and for over 4.5 assists. Both these are juiced. The assist is minus 154 and the threes is minus 175. With them combined, it does become a plus 157 parlay, which I honestly don't mind doing. And then I'll go into detail into why I'm fond of all of these props. So to start off, Emmanuel Quickly under on his points, rebounds, and assist. We have the Toronto Raptors hosting the OKC Thunder. We do have the Thunder on the front end of a back-to-back. They do play the Pistons tomorrow, and as you can see from the injury report, potentially they could be resting Chet Holmgren. And Alex Caruso, he didn't play against the Cavaliers, but it's possible he also could be rested for a potential big game tomorrow. But at the same time, even out of that, Emmanuel Quickly, I mean, this is a total that is just under what he averages for the season. He's averaging 27.5, call it 28 points, rebounds, and assists. But for a matchup in which he's going against the top ranked defense in points to the point guard position and the second ranked defense to assist to the point guard position, this originally was under his rebounds, which I really liked. It was originally 4.5. We've lost it now, and it is at 3.5 now. You can still get 4.5 at minus 180, but it was 4.5 at like minus 160. I want to say, if we can find the odds on that. Yeah, for under 4.5 was at -154 earlier today, -145. I definitely might see it fluctuate, but definitely the market is woken up. Under five rebounds. This is honestly what the original card was gonna be. If you want to take it, I wouldn't be opposed to it. It was just you would have to juice with something else, and I didn't want to come in and say, "Hey, take quickly under his rebounds," but also take the Toronto money line, which I actually do like today. It just seems that yes, OKC is starting a road trip, like a little bit of a road trip. Just two games, but at the same time, it's a back-to-back road trip. The idea would be you're gonna rest your most prominent parts for the bigger matchup, which would be the Pistons. But at the same time, Toronto is no slouch this season. With that being said, the rebounds, it is more of a middling matchup. OKC is ranked 16th in the league. In terms of the matchup, of course, when you have the majority of the rebounds going to be consumed in terms of the battle between Holmgren, if he does play Hartenstein, well, Holmgren, if he doesn't play, you'll have the other J Will Hartenstein. And then again, I've said multiple times, Toronto kind of is they don't play linear basketball. They kind of play positionless defense, where the thought would be if I do take him for under the rebounds, they it is such a volatile stat, especially when he's averaging around 7.5, call it 8 rebound chances a game. Yeah, 5 is a little bit on the higher end, but in a game against OKC where while the pace isn't particularly there, I mean they're both ranked relatively low in pace factor and offense. Um, Even then, the majority of his rebounds would be coming from defensive possessions, probably brick threes or missed shots. Nothing from the offensive side, hopefully enough. I just didn't. I just wanted the safety net of taking the other points and the rebounds. I mean, you have a points line of 16.5, which is going up now, which it kind of favors if we're going to take the whole PRA. His assist, which is typically normally at 6.5, it's now just 5.5, of course, because he's playing against the second ranked defense to assist in the league. The thing is, just for 27 points, rebounds, and assists, you're gonna have to need a good night from Emmanuel quickly to get you over this line. Um, of course, over the season, it is a 50-50 shot, but when you go over to props madness and we kind of just look at whenever he plays a challenging team, yeah, he hits this in 7 out of 13 games across the season. Um, the matchups, when you look at it, do seem to favor him when you pair it up in terms of, okay, when he goes up against a challenging offense, he does seem to impose himself. This OKC team, even with everybody out, in the regards to SGA and Jalen Williams, we've seen this, not necessarily the bench, but these other parts of their unit just come through and just handle business. I mean, look what they did to the Cavaliers on Sunday. I think the Cavs were at 3 or 4.5 point favorites, and then they just wiped the floor with them. I mean, I think they went on a 23-5 point run at one point in the first quarter. The Raptors, I definitely, in terms of the Eastern Conference teams, you have to put them in, particularly not too far below them, but absolutely a tier below the Cavaliers. Granted, we do have a healthy team. Jakob Poeltl is out, but that's been a perennial doubtful or injury tag who hasn't played much this season. For quickly to cover this line, yes, it's relatively a coin flip in the hit rate, but and then yes, the data just isn't really pointing me in the right direction with this, but this is OKC. Yes, when he did play them, he's played them once this season. He did get over this line. He got 23 points and 11 rebounds, which is what made me steer away from the rebounds, honestly. I don't want to say this is a get back spot for OKC. It might be. Maybe, like I said, front end of a back to back, they may be primarily focus on the Pistons tomorrow, which is why I like the Raptors money line. Sounds a little bit contradictory with me saying I like the Raptors money line, but at the same time, I'm not taking quickly. If the Raptors were to win again, would it have to come from another big performance from Emmanuel quickly? Yes. Um, I mean, when we look at in recent games, which is the only thing that I can really defend myself on, um, it doesn't look too keen. I mean, of course, we have a matchup against the Knicks. We have a matchup against Detroit. Um, yes, sandwiched in between that performance against OKC and Minnesota. He is Emmanuel quickly is a streaky player, even from his time back on the Knicks. Um, Very well, this could just be a matchup where he explodes for 40 points, rebounds, and assists. We've seen this from him before. At the same time, the market is starting to trend down on it. I mean, this is a line that's starting to trend up on it. I mean, this is a line that opened at 25.5 PRA, went up to 27. It's now at 26. I definitely see this closing at 26.5. If it closed at 25.5 and we can get this at 26.5, perfect. If it does close it at 27.5, then it does suck to not get the closing line on it. But at the same time, this just comes down to how much of a game this is going to be for OKC. And then quite frankly, just because it is the front of a back to back, it doesn't mean that, okay, they're going to put all their eggs in the basket of tomorrow. If they're going to still, we're seeing that SGA is going to be out for another week at the bare minimum, and then Jalen J Dub for even longer. If they did have to pick their spot, and again, this maybe we're talking about an OKC team that without the MVP are still walking over teams. This might not very well be a pick their spot. They can very well win today and tomorrow. But if they had to pick their spot, it would be against the Raptors to win a game, as opposed to try to beat the Pistons. Um, in any case, Manuel quickly under on the points, rebounds, and assists. You can get this from minus 120 roughly. Shop around. Prediction apps minus 119. Our next prop, we're going to go to Tyler Hero for his points and rebounds. It's 21.5. Really like this because Tyler Hero, he's back. I really do like him. I mentioned when we took the under in the Hawks Heat game last week when it was at 245. That the reason why I think it was just too high is because we do have Tyler Hero back into the equation. He's not starting. I think obviously we'll see more of a ramp up in his role. Right now, in the last couple of games he's played, he has gotten a roughly around the mid 20s. These were two blowouts, but we did see him get 31 minutes against Boston and in 38 minutes against the Suns earlier this year, and in 27 against OKC, and even that was a relative blowout at the start of the year. But most recently, he's getting in the low 20s. But I'm pretty sure if this is any bit of a competitive game, and even if it's not, we can just see probably a natural ramp up in minutes for him post All-Star break, as he is back in the equation, and we do have a Miami Heat team who people maybe are kind of slept on in the East. They're kind of just middling out. I mean, of course, they're in that perennial like 8th, 9th, 10th spot for the play-in. But again, Miami, they're not a stickler, and when they do go through in the play-in, they're always an interesting matchup with Pat Riley and the goons over there in South Beach. But for Tyler Hero, the 22 points and rebounds, it's just volume play. I mean, he's getting roughly, I mean, like I said, he's getting low 20s. Hopefully that ramp up continues. He's getting up 15 shot attempts. I'm okay. I can have any piece with that. Again, I normally say whenever I say that, Victor Wembanyama, Jalen Green, when the volume plays don't hit, it really sucks because you watch them put up a large amount of what you need them to get. And sometimes they're inefficient shots, but Tyler Hero, I'm not saying he's an ethical shooter. He is a bit of the possession dies here kind of player. He banks them more. I mean, that's why he has a song with Jack Hero. But in terms of the data, it does fare well to us in terms of the shooting guard. Bottom 10 defense, bottom 5 defense in the league from the Bucks to the shooting guard position. You have a Q tag on Davion Mitchell, who, if he doesn't play, Yeah, you have that Jared House guy that would probably come into the rotation to start, just as a de facto point guard. But I wouldn't be surprised if that would encourage more of a ramp up of Tyler Hero's utilization. I do love this as it is on the straight up points at 17 and a half. It was 16 and a half, but I'm okay with the 18 points as well, honestly. I mean, you're getting 15 shot attempts. When we look at props madness, where he likes to do his shooting from, I mean, Tyler Hero, he's gonna shoot threes for you. He's gonna attack the basket. I really like to see where the Bucks defend from both of these. Not that good from above the break at all. I mean, Ryan Rollins and Kevin Porter Jr. more of a handed defender, but Ryan Rollins not much of one at all. Um, Tyler is gonna shoot threes and threes galore, and he can still go in and attack. In terms of rebound chances, which if we do need this to get us over the line, I think his rebound line is 4.5. It's 4, which I honestly love, even though he's coming off the bench. Um, of course, across the season, the rebound chances haven't been there per se. I mean, he's still averaging 8-9, which is perfectly fine if he's getting them at a 50% conversion, and they're all defensive sided rebounds. Again, when you're going up against the likes of Kevin Porter Jr. and Ryan Rollins and even Kevin Porter, not the tallest guy, more of a energetic defender, the chances can definitely be there. And this is a line in terms of the 22 points and rebounds. I mean, if this was a fully quote unquote healthy hero getting his minutes, this would be his points line. Um, I mean, when we look at the minutes, he's expected to play around 20 to 30 minutes already. I mean, if we ramp him up, it's just 24. He's only gone over this 4 times this season, but in each of those games, besides a 28-point blowout to the Timberwolves, he's cleared this line. Again, the efficiency, this just comes down to how efficient he is. When we're seeing him take up 18 shots, 15 shots, 15 shots, and each no less than 15, 14 shots, even in the limited minutes that he gets. Even if we bring this down to, let's say he just plays 18 to 25. That's only happened 2 times this season, a very limited sample size. He's still taking up 15 shots. I'm perfectly fine. I always hate saying that because Jalen Green, that was rough to watch. But again, that was definitely compressed and magnified by the 3 other losses on Saturday. Let's move on with that. But I'm perfectly content if Tyler Hero takes up 14 to 15 shots and this falls just a little bit under. I mean, that just means you play it again next time. He could just it is a variance. It just comes down to how efficient of a night this comes to him. Um, I mean, when we look at his field goal, what splits can we use? Field goal percentage. He's averaging 50% of the season. If we just give it a 40 at like 42, 43, 43 to 48. Again, you're still getting 17 shots from him, 17, 18 shots from him. You have to have your piece with what happens with that. All right. Our last 2 props of the day. It's going to be a little 2-man prop, 2-leg prop with the same player. We're going to look at Donovan Mitchell. We're taking his assist and we're taking his threes. First, when it comes to the assist, we look at the Knicks. They are a bottom 10 defense when it comes to defending assist to the shooting guard position. Yes, we do have a new look Cavaliers with James Harden into the picture, and we do have James Harden being that prime replacement for Darius Garland. But still, even when Darius Garland was on the team, and I guess obviously James Harden is at a higher caliber than Darius Garland, we were still getting a 4.5, 5.5 assist line for Donovan Mitchell, and he was still clearing this. I mean, as you can see, this is the line he's covered in 76% of the season. Ever since Harden came, I think Harden's first game was against Sacramento, which was one of the only 2 of the 6 games that they've played that they haven't covered this line. I mean, he's still, look, across the last 5 games, he's still averaging those 10 potential assists. I mean, of course, we can ignore games against Brooklyn and OKC, relative blowouts, and probably the NBA stats just hasn't compounded the data from that yet. But you're getting Donovan Mitchell averaging 30 minutes still. He also does get a run out in non-James Harden minutes when the likes of Dennis Schroeder and Keon Ellis, who particularly themselves aren't pass first guards. They like to, in the likes of Keon Ellis, very defensive oriented, but in Dennis Schroeder, frustratingly, depending on if you bet on him or not, he likes to attack the rim or take his own initiative in running the offense if the ball gets in his hands. Even in which case, even without those two out in the lineup, Evan Mobley is back in our lives. And when Darius Garland plays with Evan Mobley, I'm pretty sure that there is a huge correlation with those assists. Across the season, yeah, 71% of games this season when he's played with Evan Mobley, he covers his assist line. Yes, there's a lot of hoopla towards James Harden. Yes, James Harden will be the primary point guard initiating offenses. We've seen what he's done with Garrett Allen. If this was at the start of the season, I'm pretty sure Jared Allen would be an all-star at the rate he's going. But a healthy Evan Mobley and Donovan Mitchell pick and roll, we have to remember while Darius Garland was injured for multiple points of this season, that was the unit that was running until they got their James Harden. And in a matchup against the Knicks, where originally, yes, I was looking at James Harden assist at this originally, but we're talking about a 7.5 assist line against the fourth top defense in the league. I wasn't comfortable with taking that. Granted, yes, he's hit over this line in every game but one that he's played for the Cavaliers. The majority of James Harden's assists do come at the point of under the rim with the likes of Garrett Allen, Karl Anthony Towns, and OG. I do just think that's a little daunting of a matchup. Primarily when we look at Donovan Mitchell, where he does, yes, the primary of his assists do also go to below the rim, and the likes of Jared Allen or Evan Mobley who like to play there. But he does also like to get kick out assists to the likes of a Dean Wade or a Sam Merrill. And even James Harden now, who likes to shoot the three ball, probably at more of a clip than Darius Garland. I do just see opportunities for Mitchell to get these, and like I said, the primary pick and roll with either Mobley and Allen, or in any of the drives that he does to the basket and he kicks it out to an open guy that calls off his match to try to face up with a shot at the rim. 4.5 assists. I mean, rebounds and assists, I want to take at 9.5, but at the same time, Mobley, Allen, OG, Towns, a little too much on the rebounding side, especially with those weak-sided rebounds. I didn't feel comfortable taking that, especially since we know that James Harden himself likes to take those weak-sided rebounds, which is what had me thinking, where else could I try to find value in Donovan Mitchell, where 5 assists? With James Harden, without James Harden, I'm perfectly fine with that. I mean, with Harden, he's covered this in only 2 games that he hasn't played with him. In a game that Mobley and Harden, I think there's only 2 sample sizes of that, and they've gotten that in both games. Don't like to condense it down that much. 5 assists for Mitchell. I don't see this closing at 6 just because we do have James Harden now. That would just be a little bit of a free, I wouldn't say a free under, considering he did just get a 10 assist against the Nuggets. But obviously, I think what I'm trying to get at is the nuance with it is, yes, Harden is the primary guard, but when it is going to be a daunting matchup or this could easily be a preview of the Eastern Conference Finals. I think we're going to have to see other people have to help facilitate that ball. I mean, if we do want to look at head-to-head, when he's played them on Christmas and on October 22nd, he's covered this line. Donovan Mitchell, 5 assists. You can get this for -150. Yeah, -152 on FanDuel. And then to cap it off with the second prop of what makes this the +157, We're taking Donovan Mitchell for his 3 threes. This is a line that just keeps going down. It was minus 170, minus 182 now. Again, volume play, like in the case of Tyler Hero. Yes, recently, and when I say recently, he has been very streaky with the three. In his most recent games, he's only gotten this in 1 out of the last 5. Didn't make a single 3-point attempt against OKC, but we're seeing him still. Yes, there has been a slight deviation in the amount of threes that he's taken, but we can look at it as a blowout. Relatively tough game against the Hornets. And he still jacked up 7 threes, and then blowout against OKC, didn't make a single 3. But across the season, we're getting 9 3-point attempts. It's frustrating seeing Spider sometimes shoot the 3, but again, the matchup is very well there. We have a bottom 10 defense to the 3 from the Knicks. When we look at where they like to score the majority of their points or let them up, they're middling, almost a bottom 10 defense to above the break. And at the corners, I mean, Spider likes to shoot almost 40% of his threes, of his points at the 3. Again, I'm okay with this. I mean, this is a line that is at 3.5 at plus 130. The volume on that is a little too volatile. So I rather again just take the 3 threes, pair it up with the 5 assists. You're walking out of here with a plus 157. With that being said, the props for today are Donovan Mitchell, 3 made threes and 4.5 assists. That should come out to around plus 157. Tyler Hero, over 21 points, rebounds, and assists. Points and rebounds, over 21.5 points and rebounds. And Manuel Quickly, under 26.5 points, rebounds, and assists. If you're still watching this after 26 minutes, I really do appreciate it. If you could like, comment, subscribe, tell me what you're rocking with, tell me what you're not rocking with from this card. Tell me what you yourself are parlaying or playing today. I always will advise play these as straights, but this is the name of the Parlay Parlor in the channel. But please gamble responsibly. Gamble what you can afford to lose. Gamble what you're willing to lose. Have a blessed day, and may the odds be ever in our favor. Peace out.